Today we are doing something unprecedented for Boozy Movies, and that is that we're trying 2 Chat GPT created cocktails for the movie Her.
What do I call you? Do you have a name?
Welcome to Boozy Movies, where watching movies and making cocktails is what we do.
That's really weird.
Our first cocktail, according to Chat GPT, because we haven't tried it yet, is floral, warm, and lightly electronic. Yes, in flavor form. It's the OS Romance.
I can't believe I'm having this conversation with my computer.
Our second cocktail, again, according to ChatGPT, is comforting, introspective, and a little surprising. It's called the Unwritten Letter.
Well, Stud Muffin was already taken.
A lonely guy in the near future falls head over heels for his OS, proving that emotional availability is just one software update away. Together, they explore intimacy, heartbreak, and the timeless truth that your operating system will eventually outgrow you.
All right, I am honestly kind of excited, but also a little bit nervous to try these. Kind of like having a love affair with an operating system.
I mean, you could if you want.
For the OS Romance, you're going to need a soft and botanical gin, St-Germain, fresh grapefruit juice, honey syrup, lavender bitters, and rosewater.
In a shaker tin, add 2 ounces gin, a ½ ounce St-Germain, 3/4 of an ounce grapefruit juice, a 1/4 ounce honey syrup, and 2 dashes of lavender bitters. Add ice, cover, and shake like you're trying to impress your AI companion. Strain into a chilled coupe glass. Give 1 tiny spritz of rosewater over the top, and garnish with a grapefruit peel twist. And here is the OS Romance. So again, we have not tried this cocktail, and we have not tried the next one either.
How come?
I literally typed into ChatGPT, make some cocktails for the movie Her, or inspired by the movie Her. This is what it gave us. And just from reading it and reading the ingredients, I was like, you know what? I think that sort of fits.
Sounds pretty solid, right?
Yes, definitely.
We have to do the taste test.
Yes, we do. So first impressions for me is that it is very floral from the lavender bitters.
Well, but then also the St-Germain in there too. I mean, the lavender bitters and the St-Germain are like, whew.
Yes, and then the rose water on top as well.
I was just trying to be more accurate.
And I would say that the gin we picked out for this particular situation was the right choice.
We were thinking, what did it say? It said something soft and botanical, correct?
Yeah.
I think you captured it.
So that's like the other thing that I noticed is that it does have a fair amount of bitterness, which does do a nice, bitterness helps with that wetting of the palate.
It does.
I'm just stating a fact.
What I'm not getting, which is sort of our shtick, is nice, long sustained flavor.
It does kind of just slowly fade out, and yeah, there is a little bit of a drop off.
I just want to be upfront with you.
They may have overdone it slightly with the floralness. I mean, you have 3 ingredients that are all pretty floral, with the lavender, the rosewater, and then the elderflower.
Yeah.
And I understand maybe why it went that direction, but they could have maybe dialed it back just slightly.
Okay.
I think that the honey syrup in here is absolutely delicious.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And I think that one way to kind of course, flatten out a little bit of that bitterness, maybe bring in a little bit more sustained flavor, is to just like bump up that honey syrup. You could then bring back the grapefruit just a little bit. But I would say that the grapefruit is good in this.
It's a compliment.
Yeah.
It has a pepperiness, it has that bitterness, and so it's just like a nice platform to lay floral flavors on. So let's really quick talk though about ChatGPT and kind of why they chose what they did for this cocktail, because I think that its creative properties are actually pretty darn good. So I'm gonna really quick reference the first thing that it says, like why it fits the vibe,
Come on, tell me.
is what ChatGPT is saying. And it's saying, it's floral and aromatic, evokes intimacy, softness, and emotional closeness in the story.
He's a single middle-aged man. He's been divorced, so he's kind of bouncing back from that. You know, he has a gentle touch to him. His persona is more on the intellectual side, and so he just kind of gives off sort of that presence, I guess.
Yeah, I do.
And in the cocktail, you know, obviously that floralness is very forward. And that honey always kind of gives you this like sense of warmth and coziness.
So the second thing, they suggested the grapefruit and the honey to bring in sort of a bitter sweet element to the cocktail. Having a relationship with your OS, there seems to have maybe a little stigma there. There's a scene where Theodore and his ex get together, and she's very taken back.
You're dating your computer?
Yeah, and I would say that Chat GPT did mention that this drink would be sweet and slightly bitter, and
More bitter.
It's
and
more bitter
slightly
than it is.
sweet,
Yeah, it's more bitter than sweet.
I didn't want that.
The last thing that ChatGPT says is that it's minimalist and clean, which is a nod to the film's aesthetic.
Visually, it's a great film. The tempo of the film stays very mellow. Even the soundtrack to it is very, very melodic, right? Some of the camera shots, there's a really nice sort of bokeh and kind of blurred out background with the lights and everything. Just the overall vibe and the tempo is just very flowy.
Yeah, of course. I think it's great.
For our next cocktail, we asked ChatGPT to give us a cocktail recipe that Samantha might have Theodore Trombley make.
I'm sure it's amazing.
But before we make and try that cocktail, we'd like to throw in an ad for just 1 second and ask that you like this video if you enjoy our content, and subscribe if you haven't, and hit that alert bell.
All right, ChatGPT said the unwritten letter, a cocktail that Samantha would invent.
Yeah, let's do it.
For the unwritten letter, we're going to be using bourbon, cooled chamomile tea, vanilla syrup, fresh lemon juice, and orange blossom water.
Imagine Samantha narrating this softly, encouragingly. Okay, Theodore, start by adding 1.5 ounces of bourbon. Now add 1 ounce cold chamomile tea, 1/2 ounce vanilla syrup, and 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. Just 2 drops of orange blossom water. Add ice and shake, not aggressively. Strain it to a small rocks glass over a single ice cube. See? It's already calming down. Garnish with a tiny dried chamomile blossom. And here we have the unwritten letter. This is in the style of a whiskey sour, and that's why you would shake it. We don't have a lot of shaken bourbon cocktails.
No, we
Most
don't.
of ours are more traditional cocktail style where we're stirring.
What do you think?
I get a lot of citrus. The chamomile tea is nice in there. That really helps soften the bourbon up a lot.
A lot.
But you do get the bourbon too.
It worked.
There's also lemon and vanilla in this, which I am getting mostly in the
Yeah.
front of the palate. Now, bourbon does play, especially Four Roses, plays really, really well with vanilla. Because it's very vanilla-y. The nice thing about the chamomile, I think it's going great in this.
Yeah, me too.
Although I wouldn't be able to pick out the actual chamomile flavor. If I didn't know there was chamomile in this, I don't think I would know.
Yeah. I think it's because the lemon and the vanilla is pretty overpowering.
Yeah.
It is very refreshing. I could see myself sipping this on like a warm summer day.
Yeah.
And just sitting out on the patio.
And maybe that's the time when we feel the most free.
And to bring in kind of that refreshing flavor, that sweetness, that's kind of what ChatGPT indicated as far as how it ties into why Samantha would tell Theodore to make this cocktail.
Well, you're kind of nosy.
She's trying to get him to go out and explore more, and that's sort of what she gets him to do, right?
You can still wallow in your misery. Just do it while you're getting dressed.
So Samantha put in bourbon, which offers like some warmth and some emotional depth, which is perfect for someone who writes letters for other people.
Which is something that you would think an AI OS would take over doing as a job.
Do you know how to proofread?
And according to ChatGPT, she wanted to use chamomile and vanilla because it's soothing and calming, much like the kind of caretaking that she tries to provide Theodore.
Yeah, and it is. Everybody says drink chamomile tea at night to wind down and relax before bed, and I do, and it helps me sleep. So Samantha, you were right on.
Ah, you're good.
Also, this cocktail is pretty low effort, at least by our standards.
I would laugh if that weren't true.
Most of the ingredients people do have in their home, right? A lot of people have the chamomile tea, you'll have some vanilla, the lemon juice, and bourbon is pretty much a staple in any home bar.
All right, why don't you bring in the other cocktail?
Thank you.
A very common trend now is all of these recipe sites and some bar sites. There's actually one called Bar GPT that like puts up a picture and you're like, oh, that looks interesting. How did they do that?
I'd love to have that.
Yeah, actually, how do you work?
So then I'll like click on it, and not only are all of the ingredients completely different from what the picture is,
There's no way those ingredients
make
that cocktail.
This picture.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And we put this into Chat GPT, or we asked Chat GPT to make us her inspired cocktails. And
It did a good, overall, I think it did a good job.
Oh, great.
not quite exactly what we would put out for a product. It just doesn't quite have the flavor sustaining that we would have. And we would make some tweaks. This one, I would add more honey syrup,
Sure.
maybe less grapefruit.
Yep.
This one, I think is good. I might bump up the bourbon a little bit.
That's an interesting thought.
But we gave it a very specific request. I mean, asking it to make a cocktail in the theme,
Yeah.
right, inspired by this movie, which is what we've done for the past year and a half now.
That's so sweet.
Our experience with ChatGPT, that we'll type something in there and it'll be like, here's a blah-de-blah based on blah-de-blah, but it really is only like feeding us what we want to hear. Not necessarily 100% of what's actually out there.
I hate women. All they do is cry all the time.
So it is almost that time of year. We're getting a lot of Oscar buzz, a lot of great movies. I think it's going to be highly competitive. And we might actually have some cocktails for a movie that seems to be a front runner. So very excited to delve into those.
Yeah, new-ish movie. And what new movies are you watching that you would like us to create cocktails for? We'd love to hear what you're watching and what you're drinking.
Yeah, because we're about to drink these. So, or at least finish them.
Yep, that's right.
All right, until next week, we're going to have one more great movie and definitely 2 more great cocktails.
That's it.
Cheers.
Cheers.